Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit or arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So channel members, you do have a collective message that's going to post either tonight or tomorrow, so definitely check that out. And if you're interested in channel memberships, that link will be in the description box below. So I'm going to go ahead and tune in because I did write this stuff down a little bit earlier during my morning meditation for this channel. Okay, taking a step aside and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay. So when I sat down to meditate this morning, I immediately saw a tiger and I saw the stripes, and I was very drawn to one stripe in particular that was right around the middle, and it was a stripe that was broken. And when I saw this stripe, it really spoke to me about, it almost made me think of prison bars and something breaking free. So something is being broken free from is kind of the energy that came through. Whatever it is, it's been something used to alter, tame, or control a natural aspect of ourselves. I don't know if this is something that is external to us or something that is internal. So for example, if we're the ones that are trying to tame and suppress and control an aspect of ourselves, or if it's something else that is trying to keep us tamed and altered and controlled. When I got into that energy and I understood that's what this was going to be about, I immediately saw the Strength card. Now, the Strength card is an interesting card. Again, if you're interested in the Major Arcana series of videos, the link is down in the description box for the memberships, because that's currently the series that we're working on. But the Strength card is it's associated with the sun. A lot of people don't know why. I don't think a lot of people actually question why. But the reason why the Strength card is associated with the sun is because what's being depicted on it is a class of deities or goddesses that are typically from a family of deities that are Proto-Indo-European. And so this represents, sometimes it's called Eos Aurora. Now, when we go to Eos in the Greek mythology, Eos is the dawn, and she comes to subdue the night. So when we talk about the lion is really representing the creatures that stalk at night. It's representing the primordial forces. It's representing that chaos. So this is what it's speaking about inside of us with the lion and the tiger. It's some sort of primal force or a natural state is kind of how it's coming across to me right now that we've been trying to control. And so when I understood that this was about our own internal primordial force, is kind of how I felt it inside the meditation, it started to pixelate and then distort. And so this spoke to me about code decay, not a kind of code decay that takes place over time. This feels like something that has started to unravel, that maybe had some very negative effects in our life, or we've viewed it as a negative effect in our life, but there's something that was coded inside of us that has begun to unravel because certain beliefs or certain actions have begun to change inside of someone's life. So what this means is now we're going to start experiencing something different inside of our 3D than we had previously experienced, and this is going to be within a particular area of a person's life. So for example, for some of you, you may have always attracted the same types of people. And there have been, since the realization of this, different growths, different things that have occurred, different boundaries and lessons that a person has learned that has now started to decay whatever code it was that was attracting these types of people towards us. This is often done inside of our behaviors and our habits, right? Being too nice, not having good boundaries, going and doing certain actions out in public that healed people typically wouldn't do, and so it attracts people who resonate with that. All sorts of things, right? All sorts of things can attract very unhealthy people towards us. There's all sorts of situations that this could be speaking of. This could be speaking of somebody who has been trying to suppress an aspect of themselves that they didn't like, and now they're learning to turn around and face it. There is an underlying sort of energy to all of this, with this sort of feeling of code decay, that we learn to love ourselves through something. For some of you, and I do want to say this, there's a small number of you, it feels like everything in your life is kind of falling to hell right now. And that may be because you have this sort of lion tiger, really that ultra powerful subconscious space is trying to resist change. It's like its last ditch effort to try and resist change. We find this to be primarily, I find it anyway, to be primarily the case in people who have a high level of resistance. So if you find that you're a resistant person, or you try to be like you don't like going with the flow with everybody, and you like you're very independent, or for example you've always been accused of not listening to people, or if you just know that about yourself, that you don't really like doing what other people do, you don't really like following trends. If you're a resistant individual, you may find that your subconscious is really good at manipulating the 3D so that it doesn't have to change. And so that's just for somebody here. Okay, so let's go ahead. So someone here essentially is on the verge, or is stepping over into like a profoundly different story. That's how it feels. It's like a very, it's a very different story, with that Eos Aurora energy coming through, because again, that represents the dawn. It's a dawning of a new story, a new era inside someone's life. I do want to give some symbols before I continue with the cards, and the symbols this time are a little different. Mothman came through, a brass owl figurine, a mood ring, broken, it looked like it black and red vacuum, and then red again came through with a red house that I saw the letters TNNC in like military script over it. So it almost felt like an area, a red house that's in the area of the Tennessee and North Carolina border there. Cat Christmas stocking, a candle snuffer with symbols on the outside, and I kind of think it was a brass candle snuffer. Snuffer, 515 and then 555. Okay, so let me take a drink of my coffee here. I can tell my throat's like, don't talk anymore. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so the Sage is an interesting card. It's exactly what we're talking about, right? The Sage, this card, he has one blind eye. And so it's, in lore, in myth, in history, in legends, it was always viewed that that one blind eye was an eye that would turn a person inward. For example, there's a great number of shamanesses in Japan that are actually blind women. There are, stories about Odin and his sacrificing of his eye at Mimir as well, so that he could gain the knowledge of the runes by going internal to himself. There's all these different mythologies about that blind eye turning the vision inward. This is what seems to be happening for somebody. There's a correlation between the external and the internal, and we've stopped trying to subjugate or control or suppress, or allowing something external to us to do it. Yes, okay, I heard yes. And we are turning around to face it ourselves. For some of you, this is an aspect of yourself that you feel very burdened by. This is sitting, I'm going to pull these because I'll probably be pulling from the bottom, that you felt very burdened by, right? This is the feline. He's bent over that way, and this is a card about loose ends and tying up loose ends and having a heavy burden. This is something that maybe we have felt makes us wrong or broken, or is just something about ourselves that we don't like in some way. When we have things about ourselves that we don't like, and we seek to control them, subjugate them, change them, and instead of learning to love those parts of ourselves, that shame, that guilt, that, oh, I hate this aspect, those things rarely get people to the ideal place, right? They rarely work. And the reason why is because our brains are seeking to consolidate and integrate into acceptance, right? Whenever we are not accepting of something inside of ourselves, what winds up happening is that that ultra powerful tiger lion complex, that ultra powerful subconscious space lashes out. War is an energy that can't exist within, right? If it exists within, it will break us apart. So whether it happens through external means or it just happens over being very unhappy in our lifetimes, if the goal is to evolve as a person, we have to understand how to integrate those aspects of ourselves, even the ones that we really don't like, because understanding this is part of me allows us the space and the grace to be able to use those energies in their appropriate time and their appropriate places. So for example, if you have an off note inside of a song, it doesn't mean that you never play the song again. It means you move that note to a different song. There's an energy, a vibration that's taking place inside of an individual that they keep trying to squash, or something outside of them has kept trying to squash. And now we're breaking free from that pattern of trying to squash that energy. What we have to realize, if you haven't already, is that that energy has its place. It's part of us, and it's necessary for us to step into our authenticity. So, okay. Using all energy in its appropriate ways is something that I think is going to be a big focus for somebody here. Okay, yeah, this is the beginning of something. And we have the journeyman coming up. So again, this is like a new dawn. A new dawn is starting. Someone here may feel that this is baggage, right? That they're still carrying this, that it's something hard to deal with. The reason why I'm saying that is because he looks like the fool, right? I'm just going to pull this because this is actually on the top here. He looks like the fool there carrying that sack. Well, this guy has this little ball. And it almost feels as though this thing that we are carrying with us is actually required for us to be whole and complete. We've been trying to suppress it for so long that we may be lacking that sense of wholeness. There is something very slow in this process. And I know that when people hear that, they roll their eyes and they don't like that. Buckle up, buttercup, because everything along your healing journey, everything along your spiritual journey, whether it's learning new abilities, whether it is healing a certain trauma, they're slow. They're slow. The fast pace, pay for it, get it, drive through sort of lifestyle and mentality that we have as people, that's for the 3D in current year 2025, right? Or going to be 2025 anyway. It's not for the other spaces. This is like a man-made construct of instant gratification. And if you continue to treat your spirituality in this way of instant gratification, you're going to find you're not going to get very far, right? A lot of people, they waste many, many years in their life trying to go from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, of instant gratification. And by the end of it, they feel like they haven't gotten anything done. That in and of itself is a very powerful lesson. Right? We don't necessarily have to have that lesson if we take a step back and kind of get over the sense of entitlement that's required to view things that way, right? Because that's what it is. We as people, we have little ways that entitlement sneaks into our worldview, and this is one of them, where we think that things have to happen on our time and fast and quickly. Especially in a healing journey or a reprogramming journey, such as this seems to be. Because I want to put it this way, it took your whole life to build your brain structure the way that it is currently. It's not going to happen overnight, right? Changing it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. And that's all well because you need that time to really process and really integrate the things that you're coming into, right? Okay, let's see, what else is there? I think that's it. Someone here's like, and I'm not getting sick. I know somebody's going to ask me about the frogs in my throat. It's just because doing this, I have to talk all day in my personal readings and everything, and with my mentees and stuff. So yeah, this is just a lot of talking. So I'm at the end of my vocal cord reach here. Yeah, so somebody here is really you're on the brink of a very new sort of path. And this message has been coming through for somebody the last couple weeks, and I do think it has something to do with the sun now returning back into the northern hemisphere. There's a reason why the tarot is so solar focused. If you're not aware of that, maybe study the cards a little bit more outside of what tarot readers say about it. Maybe go into the mythology and the history of the images being represented on the tarot cards, because you'll see it. There's a lot of solar themes throughout the major arcana. And again, if you want to watch a bunch of videos that are a deep dive into that, feel free. My membership link is down in the description box, and that's our current series. But this solar theme, you know, when December 21st hits and that sun starts its rise back towards the Tropic of Cancer, this is really a time where we start to see things that maybe we hadn't seen previously. We start to restructure, we start to illuminate things inside of our lives. And this is an energy that seems to be breathing something new into this collective. It's almost like a return on investment kind of energy that I'm feeling. So someone here, you know, you're going to start noticing that as you do actually step over this little I don't know why I want to say step over. It's almost like there's something going on that we have to step over for somebody. I don't think that's everyone. I think that for some of you, it's just a natural progression that's taking place. It may have started on the 21st. It might have started somewhere around that. I feel like 21st or later, honestly. I don't feel like it's actually started before that for most people. But we are coming into some sort of current or energy that is quite different than the energies we previously experienced. So whoever this is for, especially if you're the one of them that's currently going through it and having a lot of things break down around you, just remember that the subconscious, when it lashes out in this way, it's because we ourselves are a person that's resistant to change. Our subconscious essentially is, you know, the controller. It's who's kind of running the show inside of our lives. And so if we can just have grace and be patient with it and understand that the subconscious is very interesting, right? And I'm speaking from the context of shamanism. So I'm never speaking from the point of Western therapy on this channel. So just remember that if you are experiencing that breakdown of things, one of the beliefs that we have inside of shamanism is that the subconscious never really wars against us without also leaving a gift, right? It's kind of it's the complex of the scapegoat, right? It's actually trying to do us favors, but we consistently try to control it, deny it, and do all these things that we actually can't do, right? Because it's like the really powerful. And so there's certain things that it's trying to help you to grow through as this process is taking place, while also trying to, at some level, maintain its own material, right? It doesn't want this to change, but everything that it does, it kind of sprinkles out a little bit of fairy dust and doesn't even maybe realize it, right? It's kind of like the villain who accidentally leaves gifts everywhere he goes. It's that kind of energy. And so just be aware of that while these things are breaking down, there are actually things that are happening that we can use as opportunities and that we can grow from. So never miss an opportunity when the subconscious is spitting dirt your way, because those are the places where you can really mine gold. So whoever this message is for, I wish you the best of luck through this situation. And if it resonates for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment. And until next time.